Hi everyone, it's Ron Milligan with Remax Select here, and of course I'm coming to you with our latest market update. Today we're going to be looking at the supply of active listings and the buyer demand, and then also we'll be looking at how we're faring this year versus last year. So first things up is the number of homes sold. This is for the week of February 7th through the 13th. And that number that we closed during that week was 447. I looked back at my notes from last year when I took that same number for roughly the same week. It was, I think I pulled the numbers on February 16th, and of course I'm pulling the numbers today from February 15th. So last week, roughly the same week last year, that number was 446. So we're on par with where we were last year at this time. If we're looking at the active listings, our supply of active listings, the number went up slightly. It's up 18 listings. I'll take it again. I'll take any increase that we can get in the inventory. That number was 1602 versus last week 1584, and the week before that 1575. Even though it is very slight increases week after week, it is 2 weeks of increases in the number of active listings. What we'll see though is that, we look at the pending listings here, 45, 42 versus the previous week, 43, 49. That's a 4.3% increase versus a 1.1% increase in the number of active listings. So the demand is still really strong. It's a 193 listing increase in the number of pending deals, where the active listings only increased by 18. So we can see that demand is still outpacing supply. Looking at the number of new pending deals, that was 782 versus the previous week 735, and the week before that 697. I suspect that number is going to continue to be strong. We're seeing that there are more than enough buyers for each property that's still hitting the market here, and we're not seeing a ton of inventory to help alleviate the demand. So if we're looking at what sold last week and how they did on the market, average days on market was 23. The week before that it was 30, so the average days on market's coming down pretty drastically. Median went from 7 to 5. If we're looking at last year, the same time period, went from 46 to 34 for the average days on market, and from 11 to 5. Average sale price 559,988 versus last year at this time that was 535,701. That's only a 4.5% increase last year versus this year, but keep in mind that we're taking a really small sample of listings, and all it takes in a small sample like that is a few numbers, big sales or really small sales, to skew numbers in one direction or another. That 4.5% is well below the 14% year-over-year appreciation that we saw from January of last year to January of this year. When we look at the median sale price, that number is 520 versus 460 last year. That's a 13% increase for that last week, and that's more in line with what we've been seeing for the year-over-year average increase in the sale price. And then average list price versus sale price. We listed at one price. What percentage of that price that we listed it at did the property end up selling for? We saw big increases in both the average and median in this case. The average went from 101.6% over the asking price to 103.37% over the asking price, and the median went from just shy of 103 to 104. So 104% of the asking price is what the property ended up selling for. And then the last thing is how we're doing this year versus last year on the inventory of active listings. We're right now at 1602 active listings. Last year at this time, that number was 2033, so we're 21.2% down versus where we were last year at this time. And then the number of pending deals, last year at this time we had 5215. versus 45, 42 is what we have right now. So the number of pending deals is down 12.9% versus last year. So hopefully we'll start to see some more listings hit the market and help satisfy some of the demand that we've been seeing. We are still seeing for those properties that are priced at market with very few stopping points, ready to go, those properties are still selling with multiple offers rather quickly. So no real relief this last week as far as the inventory problems are going. But of course, we'll keep an eye on it and let you know when that starts to turn. And of course, as I always say, all real estate is local. So if you're curious about what's going on in your neck of the woods or your specific neighborhood, I'm more than happy to get those numbers for you. Okay, and we'll see you next week.